Then, if we still like you, well, next up is a background check. And they can be pretty thorough. I've seen some of these.
Why didn't they do that? Why didn't you think they would do that sooner?
It depends on the agency. That's a good question. Wouldn't you think they would do that sooner? It depends on the agency. Some of them do it sooner. Some of them do it later. It depends on how it flows.
You can pass all the other tests. You
Yeah.
can't pass that. Yeah.
But the background checks are really time consuming and expensive.
Oh.
So that's why a lot of them will wait until, the last thing. We like you so far. Yeah, because we can run a whole bunch of people through on a written test or on a physical test pretty quickly. We might do the background check first and then do the psych testing, but
Yeah.
So, past employers. Hopefully you are on good terms with all of your past employers, because one of the questions they ask your past employers is, what kind of employee were they? And would you hire them back? So, if you got crossways with your previous employer, we're probably going to find out about it. References. Now, a smart person is going to put down the names of people that they believe will say nice things about them. That's the kind of person that you should put down as a reference. Do not put people down who are not going to say nice things about you, or if you've even got any question about it. Every once in a while I get somebody that calls me, can I use you as a reference? I'm like, I don't think you want to. I had a girl that failed me 2 times in a row. She took me the 3rd time and she barely scraped through with a C. And she did exactly what she had to do and not one little itty bitty thing more. Am I going to say anything nice about her? Not really. Should we hire this girl? No. Hell no, I wouldn't hire her. So, I'm just saying, be realistic here. When you're putting down your references, make sure it's people that are going to say good things about you and that they're recent. Because I've also gotten that. I got some guy that emails me if he could use me for a reference. I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I don't remember you. I get 150 new students every semester. Some I remember, some I don't. I'm sorry, I don't remember you. Well, you had me back in 2004.
Jesus.
Really? Okay. In 2004, I did the math anyway. He was like in his early 30s now. And he wants to use a teacher from, 10, 15 years ago. So as an employer, I'm going to go, why would you use such an old reference? Have you pissed off a lot of people in between? That's the best you can do, is somebody from 15 years ago? That knew you when you were 19 or 20 years old and hasn't seen you since? Okay, this is not a good choice of references either. So you want people that are going to say nice things and people that are recent, okay? Does that make sense? Yeah, because, way back when, people change, right? And even, I had another one that won in 10 years ago. Okay, well, in 10 years, a person's going to change a lot. They're going to get more education. Their personality is going to be a little bit more well-developed. They're going to mature. So this is a completely different person than they were then. Is it even fair of me to comment on who they were 10 years ago? Is that really going to be an accurate reference? I don't think so. So just saying, keep them recent. Now, since we know that you're going to put people down that are going to say nice things about you, wink, wink, nod, nod, here's what we're going to do. While we've got one of your references on the phone that you put down, you say, hey, while I've got you on the phone, is there anybody else that I could talk to that you know of that could tell me more about this person? Well, yeah, I can, so-and-so. Oh, could you give me their contact information? You see how this goes? So now I've got a whole new contact that you didn't put down. And I'm going to call them up and see what they say. And I'm going to do that several times. So I'm going to get a lot more information about you this way. Credit. I'm going to do a credit check. Why? Why do you think that's important?
Make sure you're smart with, responsible. Smart with money.
You're smart with money?
Responsibility.
Responsibility goes to financial responsibility, right? Yeah, anybody else?
If you can't make your payments on time, how are you going to show up time for work?
Yeah, and we might even be concerned, hey, if you're deeply in debt, are you going to be susceptible to corruption too?
I watched this show, and one time, there was a police officer, and he was trying to make a detective, and his supervisor told him he couldn't because he had outstanding loans.
Oh, yeah, probably big loans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're looking for financial responsibility. Are you responsible with money? And if you think about it, it actually goes somewhat to your honor and integrity too. Because if you have a justly incurred debt, do you pay your justly incurred debts on time? Are you paying your rent on time? Are you paying your utilities on time? Are you paying your cell phone bill on time? Now let's go back into the dinosaur days when you could pump a tank of gas without paying first. Yeah, you used to be able to do that way back when. You go up north, you can still do that in some places. Now what would happen if you pumped a tank of gas, right? You're in one of these rural communities where they don't have the credit card built into it. You pump a tank of gas and you just drive off. I mean, it's not, it's not something you can put back once you pump it. And if you just drive off, would we all agree that that's stealing? Yeah. You've taken something that you can't put back and you didn't pay for it. All right, let me ask you this. How is that any different than not paying your consumer's energy bill, your utility bill? You use a month's worth of utility, gas, electric, whatever. You can't give it back, and now you're not paying for it. You use a month's worth of your Verizon service. You can't give it back, and now you're not paying for it. It's really not any different than a drive off at a gas station, is it? And that's what we're looking for. Do you pay your debts? Are you reliable with money? And that can be a big deal. So if your credit's not in order, get it there. Driving record. You cannot possibly think that we are going to give you a souped up, go fast police car with lights and sirens if you've got a bad driving record. Because guess what that makes you? A liability. Right? You're going to get us sued. So let's say I am a chief of police and I'm looking to hire some new officers, and Lindsay comes in. And I like Lindsay a lot. I mean, I'm thinking, man, she's going to make a great officer. I really like her. And then I look at her driving record. Oh, Lindsay likes to drive fast. She's got like 8 points on her license for speeding. Wow. Oh, man, I really like her. Maybe I'll just give her a little counseling, make sure she gets a little bit more attention from her field training officer on the driving part. I really like her. I really want to hire her. So I hire her, okay? And everything's okay while she's on probation. She's keeping it cool. But hey, once a lead foot, always a lead foot. So she gets off her probation. She's out there on her own. And next thing you know, wah! She's putting the pedal to the metal. So one day she's going much faster than she should for the posted speed limit. And here comes somebody's grandma going across the crosswalk. And Lindsay happens to glance down. She's driving too fast and bam! There goes grandma. Can you imagine the lawsuit? Can you see how this lawsuit's going to go? They're going to call me to the stand and they're going to say, hey, Chief Whitaker, isn't it true that when you hired this officer, you knew that she had a bad driving record? You knew that she liked to drive fast? Isn't it true, Chief Whitaker, that you knew that? And I'm going to go, shit. The next question is, how many zeros do we want on the check? They're going to win that lawsuit, right? So your driving record's kind of a big deal. Keep it tight. If you have a little blemish on your driving record right now, I'm going to tell you right now, don't do it anymore. Stop. Don't do that. Get it cleaned up. If you've got a clean driving record, keep it that way. Criminal convictions.
Oh, shit.
Justice is the choice for me.
Now, most misdemeanors we can take on a case-by-case basis. Felonies are non-negotiable, so if you have been convicted of any felony, change your major. You cannot be a police officer. It's all over. That fat lady sang. If you have been convicted of a misdemeanor, we can take those on a case-by-case basis. Now, there would be a problem if you had several misdemeanors, because now that becomes not a mistake, but it becomes a pattern of behavior. So, you know, like you're a scofflaw, or like you think the law doesn't apply to you, so we're going to hire you to be a police officer. Why? But mostly we can take them on a case-by-case basis. And mostly, you know, it's just one stupid little thing, youthful indiscretion, right? We can let that ride. There is only one misdemeanor that we absolutely cannot consider you for as a police officer. Does anybody know what that is?
Assault.
Not assault.
Really?
Well, not straight up assault anyway.
Who watched this?
Assault with a deadly weapon?
Well, that would be a felony.
You
That would be a
idiots.
felony. One misdemeanor. Anybody?
I feel like it's gonna be really obvious.
It's a kind of assault, a very specific kind.
Domestic violence?
Domestic violence. Why?
That state trooper.
Why?
Can't have a gun.
You can't have a gun. If you've been convicted of domestic violence, you cannot carry a gun. Makes it really hard to be a police officer.
Right.
And so that's one that we can't look by. Anything else we can pretty much take on a case-by-case basis. But again, my advice to you here is don't. Just don't. And if you have, don't do it anymore.
Oops.
And so you want as much time now to go by between your little indiscretion and when you get hired on the job. And so watch your behavior there, okay? Academics. They're going to have a copy of your transcript. And sometimes they even come out here to Delta College and want to talk to your teachers or whatever university you might go to later. Now, state police will do that. They'll come right out here. Saginaw County's been known to do that. A couple of the other agencies locally will do that. They'll come right out here and want to talk to us. Or call us. We get phone calls, messages all the time, you know, doing background. So they're looking at your academics, okay? They've got your transcript. And I'm going to be straight up with you. Nobody gives a fat rat's ass how you did in history, or math, or biology, or physical science, or any of that stuff. You know what they're interested in? Your criminal justice grades. Because they're going to say, well, if this is your area of study, this is your major area of study, this is what you're most interested in, what's with the C's? What's going on here? Are you not that interested in it after all? What's going on? And so if you have one bad semester, that's one thing. But you know, if you keep doing it, I mean, that's going to flag their attention. That's what they're looking at. Anybody that does any hiring at all is really only looking at that major area of study. When we hire faculty out here at Delta, if I'm on a search committee and we're looking for a business professor, I don't care how they did in anything else other than their business classes. That's where we're looking. How'd they do in business? Because that's what we're hiring them to teach. So how'd you do in criminal justice? Because that's what we're hiring you to do. So, big deal. Big deal. We're going to want to see all of your documents. So whatever it is you tell us you have, we want to see it. So we got your transcript. We want your birth certificate, diplomas, marriage licenses. If you're in the military, your DD-214, your driver's license, all of that stuff. Show us. You know, show me the money.
What if you don't have that stuff?
Well, if you're not married, you wouldn't have a married license.
Oh.
And if you haven't been in the military, you wouldn't have a DD-214. So the last thing they're going to do is take a snapshot of you, get your photo, and run your fingerprints, okay? So if you're in the system for a bad reason, that's not good. If you're in the system for a good reason, because you've been in the military, you've got a security clearance or something like that, that's cool, that's great. And here is an example, well, not an example, it is a background check form from the state police. So you can take a look at everything they're asking for. Employment history, criminal history, financial credit, academic and school counseling records, athletic records, social media, digital records. You're agreeing to all of this when you sign this. Attendance, personal history, disciplinary, mortgage records and payments, utility bills, driving records. And so they're not playing. I mean, they're going to dig deep. They really are. So you want to make sure that you're all straight up on this.
This person was from Cass City.
And then if we still like you, we'll call you in for an interview. Now sometimes they'll do the interview first and then the background check. They might flip-flop those around. But we're to the interview now. And it starts when you walk in the room. In the criminal justice field, we tend to do what we call stress interviews. So most likely what's going to happen is there's going to be a big table in the front of the room. And there's going to be 2 or 3 or 4 people with all of their stars and bars on.
Oh,
And then there's going to be you and a little chair back here. And they're going to do everything that they possibly can to intimidate you. Because what we really want to see is how well do you deal with stress. And if you don't deal with stress here in an interview, how is it going to be when some bad guy is on the street screaming how they're going to rip off your head and shit down your neck? That's a little stressful. So we want to see how you handle stress. It starts when you walk in. So we got our eyes on you. What are you wearing? Are you dressed for success?
you better be looking bad.
Men, you need to have a business suit on. Put the jacket on too. Why? Because a lot of applicants won't. And this is a competition that you want to win. Some guys will just have dress pants and a shirt and tie. Put the jacket on. For two reasons. One, it makes you look sharper and it puts you up above everybody else. The other reason, and an important reason, is that we all know that interviews are very nerve-wracking and that your deodorant will have quit working about 10 minutes ago. And you're going to have big sweat stains under your arms. Now, what's the old saying? Never let them see you sweat. So don't let them see it. So, okay, your shirt's drenched, but they don't need to see that because you've got your business jacket on. And they're never going to see that you're soaking wet underneath and your deodorant quit on you. Because it's going to, and that's what's going to happen. So wear the jacket. Business suits for women too, same thing. Right? Business suit, you can wear a skirt, you can wear a pair of trousers, doesn't matter. Sensible low shoes, right? Not heels. Sensible low shoes, low heel or flats. Because we want to be able to look at you and know that you understand workplace standards too. Slacks, if you're wearing a skirt, it should be of appropriate modest length to around the knees. If you're wearing slacks, fine. You know, a blouse, the blouse is not see-through, it is not low cut. Up here nice and high and tight. And you're going to want to wear the jacket for the same reason. Right? So they don't see you sweat. Does that make sense?
I'm assuming for Michigan State Police, this all happens before you go to the academy?
Yes.
Indiana-
Yeah, Michigan State Police, when you start the academy, you're actually hired.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
But everywhere else, it goes the other way. So we're going to scope you out. We're going to look at your body language. What does your body language look like? Do you look confident and competent? Are your shoulders back? Your head's up? Right? You're showing some level of situational awareness. You're not like deer in the headlights. Or you're not all slumpy. You know, and some people are they're not very aware of their body language. And they walk all slouchy and slumpy. Sometimes sit out in the hallway, out in Eyeball Alley there, and watch people go by, and you will be absolutely shocked at how many people just have bad posture. And I'm going to say probably 3/4 of them are going to be women.
Ouch.
Right? Yeah, they're going to look at your posture. Do you look confident? Is your head up? Are your shoulders back? You don't want to walk in like a beaten down dog. You don't want to walk in like you're terrified, even though you are inside, you probably are. And it's an interview, the stakes are high. And you don't want to walk in all arrogant and cocky either. There's a real fine line between confidence and cockiness. Now, you don't want to cross that line. You don't want to be all cocky and arrogant. So, confident. Then we start asking you the questions.
Oh boy.
We want to see how you respond. We want to see, do you have the ability to communicate orally and organize your thoughts?
We'll see.
So we're going to start asking you all kinds of questions.
I'll get this stutter sometimes. I hate that.
Wait, what?
I'll get like a stutter.
Now back to body language, okay? So you've got your chair here of all the brass with their stars and bars, and your little chair is back here. Okay, so another heads up here, especially for the women, but all of you. Sit down. Okay? Don't
How do you feel about knees crossed?
make yourself at home, right? Sit down, keep your feet flat on the floor, get off the back of the chair, and sit formally, sit at attention. Do not cross your legs. Don't do it. Feet on the floor, right here. And I'll tell you why. Women especially, one of the first things they do when they sit down, they cross their legs. But you're nervous.
I know it's my life.
And that foot is going to develop a mind of its own, and you're not even going to be aware of it. Guys, same thing. You cross your leg like that, that foot's going to take off. Women do it even more. That foot's going to be down here going about 90 miles an hour, and you're not even going to know that it's doing that.
Yeah, but once you put both feet on the floor, a lot of people tend to bounce their leg.
Well, don't.
Okay, I'm just
Don't
saying,
do it.
I'm just saying.
Sit quietly. Sit at attention, feet on the floor, hands in your lap, because that will also prevent you from playing with yourself. Right? Pulling on your ear, twirling your hair. I've seen women actually with long hair, they'll chew on their hair, and they won't even know they're doing it. So if you get your feet on the floor, your hands in your lap, right, you're going to be able to resist those temptations. And here's another thing too while you're doing this, okay? Keep your body language quiet, because you're going to be bleeding your stress and your nervousness all over the place. And you got to learn not to do that in this field. You got to learn to keep your body language quiet, because again, when you're dealing with bad guys, you don't want to show your hand. You don't want to let them know that you're nervous or afraid. You can't show your hand like that, so you don't want to do it in the interview. So practice now, as a student, before you even get this far, keeping your body language quiet. If you look around at any given classroom on any given day, you're going to find probably about 20% of the students in there have got a foot or a leg going about 90 miles an hour, or are engaging in myriad other nervous little habits. Don't do it. Learn to keep your body language quiet. Don't let them see you sweat. Don't let them know that you're stressed out. So when they start hammering you with the questions, then you can focus on the question, because you know that you have trained your body to be quiet, to be still. We are going to ask you questions to determine your attitude towards law enforcement and the role of police. What we really want to know is that you're not a power tripper. So, yeah, I want to be a cop, you know, I want to kick ass and take names. No. We want to make sure you're not one of those people. We are going to ask you questions to determine your attitude towards alcohol and drug use.
Ben.
Now, even though marijuana is now legal in Michigan, you may not use it and work in criminal justice. So don't even go there. Oh, it's legal, I can go to the party and smoke some. No.
Sorry, bud.
No, leave it alone. And maybe you say, oh, well, you know, I don't do that. I don't smoke any marijuana. I hardly ever drink. And then we pull you up on Facebook, and there you are with a fifth of tequila and a bag of dope.
Well, I mean,
Every photo.
We're going to ask you questions to determine your sensitivity to racial, ethnic, and gender issues. And again, this goes back to civil liability. We do not want you getting our department sued because you're some sort of a racist or a bigot or a misogynist. We don't need it. So we want to know right now, are you or aren't you? Are you a fair-minded person? So this is, again, where we're going to look at those SOC 215, your minority groups class, grades 2. We're going to be really interested in that. How did you do in your minority groups class? As I said before, that really is a criminal justice class. It really is. It's disguised cleverly as a sociology class, but it's really a criminal justice class. We're going to ask you questions to determine your values and your sense of ethics. What kind of person are you? Do you have integrity? And we're going to ask you a few other questions too. So I'm just going to give you a heads up here, because this is where a lot of people tank the interview. In law enforcement particularly, you are almost guaranteed to be asked this now, and so few people prepare. But they're going to say, well, young man, you're telling me that you would like to work for my agency, let's say Bay County Sheriff's Office. You want to work for my agency, Bay County Sheriff's Office. What can you tell me about my agency?
Ooh.
And do you know how many applicants have not done their homework? Yeah, there's this thing called the internet and websites.
Use it.
Wherever you're applying, go to that website and crawl all over. You should know everything there is to know about that agency, inside, outside, and upside down. So that when they ask, you can say, why, yes, I can. And you come back rapid fire until they tell you to shut up. All right, so maybe you aced that one. Well, very good, young man. Now you're telling me that you want a police in my community, Bay County. What can you tell me about Bay County?
Oh, good God.
Do your homework. Because those are two questions you're probably going to get asked. Another curveball they'll sometimes throw you is they'll ask who your heroes are. And a lot of people haven't thought about this. So then they go for the quick fallback, oh, well, my dad or my granddad or something. That's cute. Yeah, that's really cute, young man. That's nice. Yeah, that's sweet. Now, do you have a hero that you're not related to? And why? A lot of people haven't thought about that. So think about it. Come up with a good one and a good reason. Hitler's not a good choice.
He was a strong leader, just bad world.
Ben!
So does this make sense? Some of the things that you want to look out for when you're interviewing? All right, next up, medical examination.
Okay.
Before we're going to hire you, we want to make sure all the parts are working. Just like when you buy a car, you're going to kick the tires and check the oil.
Take the tire.
So most of the time we'll let you go to your own doctor and your doctor fills out a form and certifies you as fit. Sometimes they want you to go to the county doctor or the city doctor, just do whatever it is they want you to do. Okay, you will be drug tested. Expect that.
Don't they do like a hair, urine hair?
Well, since you're not using drugs, it wouldn't matter, would
No,
it?
I'm just saying.
Don't use drugs. It's not that hard.
I've heard that sometimes they pluck hair from you. Is that true or is that?
Well, that's what she was asking.
DNA.
Do they do hair or urine? I said, well, if you're not using drugs, it won't matter now, will it?
I was just wondering if it's true.
Yeah, they'll take a check.
Feds do.
It's just a way to.
It's more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you pass your medical examination, no big deal. And then we hire you and put you on probation for a year. So during this period of time, you will be, at least for part of it, with your field training officer, FTO. And for your first few months, you'll be writing and observing what your FTO does. And as time progresses, they're giving you more and more responsibility until at the end of your FTO period, you're doing everything and your FTO is riding along and just observing. And once you pass your FTO period of time, then you finish off your probation. Okay, but what's really going on here is we're continuing your training. Your post-academy training and department policies. Because every department's a little bit different, so we can't teach you that in the academy. But post-academy training is going to be mostly how does your department do certain things? How do they want you to do certain things? There is only one way to do a thing when you work for an agency, and that is the way the agency tells you to do it. I don't care what the military taught you. I don't care what you learned in the academy. I don't care what Ms. Whitaker said in class. It's all wrong if your agency tells you to do it a different way. That is the only way that is correct. So if, I'm going to be facetious here, but if they tell you every time you handcuff somebody you have to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb at the top of your voice, well, you damn well better be singing Mary Had a Little Lamb real loud. If that's what they want you to do, you do it. You say, well, but in the academy they said, no, we don't care. We don't care. However they tell you to do it is the right way. That's the only way. Do it that way. During this period of time, we are socializing you into police culture. Do we know the sociological term socialization? It does not refer to meeting new people and going to parties and having fun. No, not that kind of socialization.
Sorry, Ben.
I was getting used to everything involved in it.
No.
Adapting.
I tried to guess.
Adapt.
Basically, when you are socialized into society, into society's culture, you're learning how to act. Right? How do you act right?
Just teaching you how to fit into the culture.
And so we're going to teach you how to act right in police culture. How to fit into police culture. And that's going to be everything from how you look, how you walk, how you talk, how you carry yourself, and a whole lot of other stuff. And we want you to fit into police culture. So that whole year, when you're coming up, we're looking at all of this stuff. Are you fitting in? Are you doing what it is you're supposed to be doing? Are you responding to training? Do you know your department's policies and procedures? It's all really important stuff. The two primary reasons that people are released from employment during probation. First is bad attendance. On probation, you still have people that are coming in late all the time, or they're calling in sick, and you know, I'm sorry, if you're doing this while you're on probation, what kind of employee are you going to be for the duration? Sorry. The other big one is called not responding to training. We tell you to do something a certain way, but oh no, I know better. No, I learned different in the academy, so I'm going to do it this way instead. Okay? You're bullheaded. You insist on doing things your way instead of the way that you're told to do them. And we go, see ya, bye-bye. We'll find somebody else. And those are really the two big reasons. Once you do this, once you complete your training and probation, and we figure you're going to be a good cop, we'll let you go on your own. And it's usually about a year-long process. But would you agree it's not an easy process? You got to want this. You want to be a police officer, you got to want it. You got to be in with both feet, you got to make a commitment. But I'm going to tell you what, when you get that job, it's going to be one of the most rewarding things of your life. It really is.